www.noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. Noble Gold Investments is pleased to let you know that gold was the best investment class for 2022. Real estate, crypto, stocks, and bonds. Gold outperformed them all in 2022. Matter of fact, Noble Gold Investments helped thousands of clients buy real physical gold. And according to longtermtrends.net, gold outperformed the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and even Bitcoin in 2022. Had you invested in the S&P 500 a year ago, you'd be crying because you'd have lost 20% of your investment. If you'd invested in Bitcoin a year ago, you'd have lost 65%. And if you have put all your 401k or your savings, if you've invested in the Dow Jones in the stock market, you'd have lost 10%. But gold has outperformed them all in 2022, and silver wasn't that far behind. So what are we waiting for here? We need to join the thousands of others by opening a gold IRA or silver IRA with noblegoldinvestment.com. Invest with Noble Gold Investments before the end of the month, and you will bag a free 1/4 of an ounce American Gold Eagle coin. That's 1/4 of an ounce American Gold Eagle coin with every qualified IRA, gold IRA of $50,000 or more. Just pick up the phone and call Colin Plume or one of his associates at 877-646-5347. And you can ask for a no-pressure consultation, only conversation. That's 877-646-5347. I promise you something. You will be glad that you did. I tell you, those guys are really professionals and they care.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says Russia is fighting for, quote, historical lands at pro-war rally. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that Russia is fighting for its, quote, historical lands on Wednesday as the country approaches the one-year anniversary of its bloody invasion of Ukraine. Speaking at a state-organized concert the day before Defender of the Fatherland Day, which is a national holiday, Putin delivered a notably short address to a crowd of tens of thousands of people. Quote, I've just been hearing from the highest military command that at this very moment there is an ongoing fight on our historical lands for our people. It is led by similarly brave fighters to the ones standing beside us right here now, he said, flanked by Russian soldiers. The president's speech, which lasted less than 5 minutes, was preceded by performances from pro-war artists, Russian military veterans, and a group of Ukrainian children apparently from the city of Mariupol, which was devastated in the early months of the invasion. Quote, today, defending our interest, our people, our culture, language, and territory, our entire nation is the defender of our fatherland, Putin said, quote, I bow to all of you. Much of what Putin said echoed his words from his State of the Nation address on Tuesday, as well as previous speeches he has given since the start of the war. Following a performance of the national anthem, Putin went on to give handshakes to military personnel on stage while the stadium chanted Russia. Quote, when we are together, no one can be our equal. For the unity of the Russian nation, Putin said, before calling on the crowd to chant Russia again. Tens of thousands of people braved sub-zero temperatures to attend the event, 2 days before the one-year anniversary of the invasion of Ukraine at Moscow's local stadium, which hosted the Football World Cup final in 2018. A new piece of legislation in Florida would ban dogs from sticking their heads out of car windows. A new Florida bill would make it illegal for dogs to stick their heads out of car windows in the Sunshine State. State Senator Lauren Book, a Democrat who represents parts of South Florida, introduced the animal welfare bill last week. It would prohibit a dog owner from allowing their pet to, quote, extend its head or any other body part outside a motor vehicle window while the person is operating the motor vehicle on a public roadway. If the bill is passed, dogs must also be on a harness or put in a pet seatbelt when traveling in a car. While the sight of dogs enjoying the breeze is common across Florida and the rest of the United States, it does pose dangers, she said. Quote, although most dogs love to stick their heads out open windows, the wind can seriously irritate mucous membranes and blow pieces of grit or other debris into their eyes, the Humane Society explained. Quote, pets could also be seriously injured by objects as you drive down the road. The United States Navy Secretary says the U.S. cannot keep up with China's warship building. China's Navy has significant advantages over its U.S. rival, including a bigger fleet and greater shipbuilding capacity, as Beijing seeks to project its power across the oceans, the head of the United States Navy said on Tuesday. Speaking at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., United States Navy Secretary Carlos del Toro said China, quote, consistently attempts to violate the maritime sovereignty and economic well-being of other nations, including our allies in the South China Sea and elsewhere. Quote, they got a larger fleet now, so they're deploying that fleet globally, he said, adding that Washington must upgrade the U.S. fleet in response. Quote, we do need a larger Navy. We do need more ships in the future, more modern ships in the future, in particular, that can meet the threat, he said. China's People's Liberation Army Navy could be fielding up to 400 ships in the coming years, the Navy Secretary said, up from about 340 now. Meanwhile, the United States fleet sits at under 300 ships. According to the U.S. Navy's Navigation Plan 2022 released last summer, the Pentagon's goal is to have 350 manned ships by 2045. That is still well short of the projection for China's fleet.